Hello, welcome to the Value Chain TV News Update. I am Adalbio Gwejafor with the news. And on the news update, the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) has directed a 0.005% cybersecurity levy deductions on electronic transfers. This was disclosed in a circular issued by the CBN by the Director of Payment Services, Uzoma Efobi. According to the CBN, the deductions would become effective from the next 2 weeks and shall be applied at the transaction origination, which would be put together and paid into the cybersecurity fund held by the CBN. The Apex Bank warned that defaulting institutions could be fined to the tune of not less than 2% of its annual turnover. Value Chain TV spoke to some Nigerians regarding the development. The report.
I think my concern majorly is about the interest of the federal government, and the interest of the citizen must also be taken into cognizance. Now, it's not about the charges or the levy, but it's about what will come out of the tax after being realized. If taxes are being used very well in Nigeria, it will be good for us and it will be good for the economy. But in the sense that at the end of the day, somebody will come and embezzle the money, there's nothing for the people, no good road, no water, no electricity, and at the end of the day, we are suffering. So the money to me is not a good policy because they are not going to use it very well. Unless there's a new policy of the government that will be put into cognizance for the citizen, then we can say it's a good policy. But for now, and if you look at the economy right now, people are suffering. So, and even putting money in the bank, I don't think it's even a good thing to do in the first place. Because putting money in the bank, it will not metamorphose into anything, it will not give you anything. It's not an asset, but rather it's as good as when you put it there, will say this charge, that charge at the end of the day. So me, I will not encourage anybody to put money in the bank if that policy is there.
Well, to my own view, I think what they are trying to actually do is that they are trying to remove shaft from the real people, because a lot of people have a lot of abandoned accounts in so many banks, of which they kept a lot of money in there, not even naira, hard currencies, so of which is affecting the forex and the exchange rate of the country. So they are trying to reduce it to know who are really people that are using their accounts regularly and who are just using account to steal money and keep it there. There are a lot of accounts like that they don't have owners. Their owners are dead and they are there reading, and it's affecting the economy. So what CBN did, they know what is right to do, and they put that in place just for us to be actually guided, because Yahoo boys are also around now. They are using a lot of means to actually extract money from people's accounts.
To my own opinion, I think it's coming at the wrong time, because why? Look at already there's a crisis in the country, there's an economic crisis already. So look at the cost of living, children's school fees, the cost of housing problem, and transport already. Okay, now you have little money in your bank. You want to send it to your child for school fees, and yet CBN will now deduct it from your account again. I think it is more burden to the poor masses. That's why I said it's coming at the wrong time.
Minister of State for Petroleum Resources Oil, Mr. Heineken Lokpobiri, has announced the abolition of signature bonus payment to the federal government by new investors in the oil and gas sector. Lokpobiri stated this in an interview on the sidelines of the 2024 OTC, which opened in Houston, Texas. According to the minister, over the years, the payment of signature bonuses remained a huge bottleneck for the investors. The Nigerian Upstream Regulatory Commission (NUPRC) has assured of breaking all entry barriers for potential investors in the oil sector, while committing incentives to new entrants as the 2024 oil bid licensing round begins. The Commission Chief Executive, Nigerian Upstream Regulatory Commission, Mr. Benga Komolafe, gave the assurance during the opening of the Nigerian Pavilion at the Offshore Technology Conference (OTC) in Houston, United States. Komala first said that in line with the mandate of President Bola Tinubu, investors wishing to bid for assets in the 2024 licensing round are assured of seamless entry and have nothing to worry about entry barriers. Energy stakeholders, government officials, industry regulators, and key industry players are set to convene in Abuja at the Nigerian Oil and Gas Energy Week 2024 to deliberate on policies aimed at meeting West Africa's energy demand amid transition debates and pressures. In a statement issued at a media parley ahead of the Energy Week, Country Director, Nigeria and Portfolio Director, Africa DMD Events, Wimimo Oyelana, pointed out that many African countries were harnessing gas and greener energies to drive their industrialization journey. Oyelana said African countries including Ghana and Nigeria were investing in gas infrastructure and promoting its utilization, and by extension were addressing energy poverty and environmental challenges. The conference is scheduled to take place in Abuja and centered on showcasing opportunities, driving investments and meeting energy demand. The Trade Union Congress TUC, electricity workers and consumers have dismissed the 8.1% reduction in the tariff paid by Band A consumers, describing it as negligible as they intensify their demands for a complete reversal of the tariff hike. The discos have initially complained about the reduction, even as NERC has insisted on the need to adjust tariffs in line with macroeconomic parameters and exchange rate appreciation. The House of Representatives and the Chief Executive Officer of the Center for Promotion of Private Enterprise, Muda Yusuf, have, however, described the review as a step in the right direction. NERC had earlier directed the 11 electricity distribution companies to reduce the tariff from 225 kilowatt-hour to 206.82 kilowatt-hour, citing the stability of the Nigerian naira against foreign currencies. Some Nigerians reacted to this development. The report.
The economy is very hard on everybody, right? So the idea of increasing tariff right now is just totally out of it. I'm not in support of it anyways. So even the electricity is something, it's not as if people are enjoying it already. Like they promise 14 hours, 16 hours every day, but in my own area where I live at, we hardly use light for 4-5 straight hours. In fact, when they bring the light, you know, people kind of our own style here shouting up NEPA. Even before you stop, before you finish shouting up NEPA, taking it away again. So they will do that for like 5 times consecutively before they will now restore it to stay for like 1-2 hours. They will take it again. So we are really not enjoying it. So why the increase again? Does not mean it is the increase that will now make them to pump money into the system that will make the light to be stable. You get? So I really don't see if they really want us to fall along with the new tariff. At least we should be enjoying what you're paying for.
Actually, there is not necessary for increase of the tariff actually due to the supply of even light. People are not even getting what they want, and they are still bringing more increase on the power, whereby and the issue of meter is not even, they are not giving meters to people that they can only use what they paid for. And that tariff is like, it's a cheating to the users of the power actually. So there is no need for that. Increase is not necessary at this point really, because the supply is very low. The supply is very low. People are not getting it, and there is no how you cannot pay what you don't consume.
The Food and Agricultural Organization FAO Food Price Index FPI has shown that world food commodity prices increased in April. The increase is said to be as a result of the rising meat prices and modest upticks for vegetable oils and cereals that offset decreases for sugar and dairy products. The United Nations Food Body's FPI, which tracked monthly changes in the international prices of a set of globally traded food commodities, averaged 119.1 points in April, up by 0.3% from its revised March level, while under by 9.6% from its year-on-year level. Nigerian nurses have called on the federal government to speak to the Nursing and Midwifery Council concerning the reopening of the nursing verification portal and the resumption of the verification of nurses without new guidelines. The request was made known by an oncologist simply identified as Alexis, who spoke on behalf of the nurses during a protest at the National Assembly in Abuja. The protest was organized against the new nursing verification guidelines and the closure of the verification portal, which has both denied and made several nurses miss out on various opportunities, including jobs and further schooling.
One thing is clear, that verification is not them ascertaining if you're working well. Verification, they are just asking you, are these people registered? Have they written the Nursing and Midwifery Council exam and have they passed? Do they have a license to practice? If yes, is their name on your portal? That is just the verification, and that is what they are asking for. Yet they said we need all these things, and that is what we are saying no to. These things weren't there. So it just came up all of a sudden. So since November till now, nobody is being verified. They closed down the portal. February 7th, February 12th, we came out to protest, and we went to them there. That was when the House of Rep took interest in the case, and they intervened. They wrote a letter to them that they should reverse the guidelines that they have set, and they should revert to status quo. So for them to do that, they closed down the portal completely. So now nobody is being verified, and most of our nurses have missed out on opportunities that they've had. Some that want to continue their education, now they've gotten a letter from where they got admission that they cannot continue with them, which is why we are crying out again, because we are calling on our fathers and mothers. We know they have children that are nurses also, that they should come to our aid and talk to Nursing and Midwifery Council, that they should reopen the portal and verify nurses.
Chairman Committee on Health Institutions Amos Gwamna Magaji, while speaking on behalf of the National Assembly, assured that the matter will be looked into at a meeting with the relevant bodies, adding that nurses are highly respected and valued in Nigeria.
What I will plead with you is, as bona fide Nigerians, law-abiding nurses, the beautiful nightingales, yes, sir, put down your grievances. I'm assuring you, once you put down your request again, we'll call the necessary authority and look into this matter. What I want to plead with you is, now that you have come to National Assembly, this is the seed of democracy. Yes, and that's why as I was passing, I had to stop with the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria and every other relevant body. And I'm assuring you also that the Ministry of Health and Social Development will also have a representative in that meeting. And let me clear something you just said now. Nurses are not disregarded in Nigeria. I am part of the medical profession, and I can tell you that we respect, we honor, we regard our beautiful nurses.
And that's it on the news update. I am Adalbio Gwejofor. Thanks for staying with us.